So someone had asked me to post a tutorial on how I did paintings with like the bubbles. So I'm going to attempt to show you how I did it. It always turns out different every time, so you know. This is photo paper, the back side, so I don't use the shiny side. I use the dull side. This is like a 5x7 sort of sized sheet. I'm using Ranger, I'm using Flamingo, Patina, and Dandelion. And I dilute them with 99% isopropyl. This is what I got. I got it from Amazon. I couldn't find it again because they were out of it. Yeah, and then it gets diluted into little jars with like a squirt of the color, and then I use glass eyedroppers to add the alcohol, and I just fill it up and squirt a couple in there. So I've just put color on the paper. It's like a couple drops. This didn't get mixed up very well. Of each color, and then I just let it do its thing for a minute. Patina is like one of my favorite colors. It's so pretty. And if I feel like I want it to move faster, you know, you can blow on it with a hand blower or a yeah, all the blowing tools. I don't have any, so I just take a deep breath away from it and blow, and then inhale again away from it till I get a proper tools. You're gonna need more stuff. Add some more color because it's a bigger piece of paper. I usually, when I just do this few drops, it's usually on a smaller piece of paper. So, but I didn't want them to blend together too much and create those muddy colors. So there it goes. If you add a little bit of alcohol to it, it does a different effect, and I don't really want to do that one today, so we're just waiting for it to do its thing. Sometimes pick it up and swirl. This one's not really wet enough for that to be helpful, but. And then before it dries all the way, just stick random lids on it. And this will pull the color around the edge of the lid to make those bubbles. And if you do it while it's still wet, it works. If you do it after it's dried, there's a lot more problems in getting the circle marks to show up. And this one's not heavy enough, so I need to put something on top of it because the alcohol underneath is making it slide around. And I have some circles, lids, that are completely enclosed and some that are open. If it's open, you will get the edge and the color will stay the saturation that it is. If it's closed, it lightens whatever's under it. So if you want it to be lighter on the inside as opposed to the same color as like this would be when it dries, then put a lid over it and it will lighten. So I'm gonna put another one on top of this one, just make sure it doesn't move. I'm looking to see what we have for the ring move, like the lines around the rings. Everything looks like it's moving, and we're gonna have a nice ring mark, so I'm not gonna add extra color to it. If you need more of the ring mark to show up, or you want it to, you can put a dripper full and just go right next to it so that it goes around the edge. It won't go under typically, it'll just go on top. So that's that step. Step 2 coming later. Okay, it's been about 20 to 30 minutes and I am going to take off the rings. We'll see if they're dry. Close enough. The open ones are dry. The closed ones probably are not. Oh, that one is. Well, it's a lighter color, so it probably is dry. Okay. Pardon my arm. Okay, now that those are dry, we can commence the next step. And for the next step, you still need your colors that you used to start with, and you're going to use a paintbrush to get the little bitty bubbles. Okay, so I have these paintbrushes. They're hard to see. Is that easier? And I'm just gonna grab one of them. Oh, this one got acrylic paint on it. I'm gonna start with this one because I want smaller bubbles. And I'm just going to put a little, can we see? Okay. Dip it in until it's like saturated. Can you see that? Saturated. And then you just gently dab a dot wherever you want a bubble. It usually works better to separate the color when you do it on the same color, like the red on red, green on green, blue on blue, etc. And then you just drip dots very gently, one at a time. If there's dust on the paper, then they sometimes don't come out perfectly round or something else in the way. If you want even more delicate or smaller dots, you need less ink on your brush. And then you can get smaller dots like that. I like varying sizes, it just looks fun. And the big dots I always put too close together and they end up merging kind of like this. You need to space them farther apart than you think you do. Or have less ink on your brush if you want them to be smaller. Like those are gonna touch each other and I wasn't paying attention. And we'll put in some smaller ones around this one. And just put them wherever you want them. There's no great technique to that. And then I will clean off my brush and some alcohol and move on to a different color. So now my brush is clean again. I'm gonna choose some Patina because I love this color. And we'll just drip drip. Now the one place I learned this was from the Colorful Heartist. I found her on Instagram. I think she's from Ireland. She's amazing. And she does some art courses on, oh, what's it called? Udemy, something like that. If I can find it, I will put a link in the description. Her courses are very good and she goes step by step through everything, and that's where this technique and such came from for me. She does it way better than I do, but I find it fun and so I keep making things because it's enjoyable, and isn't that sort of the point of art? Bring you some joy. Don't we all need some joy nowadays? Things that are fun. So that's basically it. Just add your dots wherever you want them. This looks like it needs some color over here, so we'll add some color. Boop. Sometimes I boop all my little dots. It's something to do, I guess. I don't know. All right, clean that off and grab some yellow. Once I'm done with all of the different colors, sometimes I don't even use all of them, then I will go, when it's all dry, go in with a Posca pen to add white circles on top of them. Sometimes it's just fun. Do, 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 do. Like I said, sound effects. I mean, why not? I love this yellow. It's so bright and cheery. Again, the yellow that I'm using is the Dandelion. Oh, see, those are too close together. Now I have a big yellow blob. Oh well. It's the same color as the ink nearby it, so it's fine. And the noise in the background is my dog. Sorry. She always picks video time as her time when she needs me and wants attention, like she's feeling left out or something. Sometimes I will use just the paintbrush in plain alcohol, and it leaches the color out a little bit, so it doesn't add any color, it just takes it away, so you have like clearer dots, like that. And if you want brighter colors, because these are kind of muted, more of a pastel look, if you want brighter colors in your painting, then dilute your alcohol or your ink less. So put in less alcohol. I add alcohol so it flows better, but you don't have to add any if you don't want to. Doop. Sometimes I will put an ink dropper and just spritz a little water on there, or not water, alcohol. Get like a bubble on the end and just spritz it, and then that has a fun random effect of splotches, which I think is kind of pretty. So when it's all dry, I will come back and do some details. All right, part 3, we are dry. It's been like 5 minutes. And we're gonna add some fun details. So I use Posca pens primarily for this part. I have them in all different thicknesses, and I usually start with white with the big old fat bullet tip. I don't even know what it is. 1.8 to 2.5 millimeters. And I just start filling in bubbles. So just coloring circles inside of the dots that I had already placed from the ink earlier. And I have not sprayed or sealed this with anything, so at this point the alcohol ink will bleed through the white Posca pen a little bit on certain colors, like the red will definitely do it. The yellow and the blue probably won't do it very much in my experience. And then I will seal it with Camar, however you say that, spray, and then I will add more or go over the dots again so that once they're sealed, then I can go over it and they'll show up brighter white. Again, I probably won't have to do the yellow, but you can already see the pink is pulling up the color. I'll do it in different thicknesses of the ink. I have a bright pink one, which I think will be too bright pink for this, but this one is a medium tip, still a Posca pen, that I'm going to, it's more purple than I had anticipated. I never remember what they look like on the paper. It'll work though. And go over some of these dots. Make them a little bigger or smaller or whatever. It's all up to you and your creativity at this point. And yeah, I just add in dots in varying colors if I want them. If I don't, you don't have to put them in here, obviously. It's up to you what you want it to look like and what you want to do with it. Add some more dots over here. Now I need some over here. I feel like I have to balance it over a little bit. I like to vary the size of the dots because they're not always super wonderful with one size. Different sizes looks better. But anyway, that's basically what you do if you want to make an alcohol ink painting with bubbles. So don't forget to sign your artwork and seal it, and then you're all set. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it made sense most of all, and go try it yourself. Bye.